Hello, and welcome to Critical Hit on Parable Games. Today, we'll be analysing the content of the new Pokémon X and Y trailer, and trying to deduce what we might be seeing in the game. So, let's begin. So, immediately, we're presented with a computer-generated image of the Pokémon universe equivalent of the Eiffel Tower, suggesting X and Y are going to take place in France. This could also extend to other places in mainland Europe, depending on the scale of the game. And here we have the first piece of in-game footage, showcasing the new fully 3D visuals. We're shown a character who we can assume is one of our protagonists, and importantly, they're looking into a mirror whilst sporting both a cap and shades. Could Game Freak be hinting at appearance customization for the first time? Also, note what we assume to be a TV on the left. This might be unlikely, but it'd be a nice and immersive touch if we could get in-game news reports, as in Gen 3 and onwards, whilst also being able to see something on screen, similar to Colosseum. We've got our first overworld view, with a much lower camera than usual. We've seen sections of black and white with a similarly low camera before, but it's likely that with the new fully 3D visuals, we'll be seeing a lot more of it. The world also seems far more intricate in design. Towns look more fleshed out, paths have a natural sway about them, and street signs and roadside hills are present too. Series staples of tall grass and surfable water are returning as well, but that was pretty much a given. Again, we're presented with a more versatile camera that Game Freak were experimenting with in Gen 5. More importantly, however, is the level of interaction with the environment. Mostly features like this have been previously confined to gym puzzles, so it's nice to see a more entertaining overworld. Assuming this is a section of the overworld, of course.
3D world.
Here, we're shown what is most likely the female protagonist, running along a path showing once more the incredibly detailed world, comparatively to previous series entries at least. The river in the background is most likely surfable, knowing how Game Freak love to fill Pokémon games with various hidden nooks and crannies discoverable by surfing. At this point, we can see a very Parisian-looking avenue, down to the perfectly distanced trees and the architecture of the buildings. Behind the protagonist, we can also see the Eiffel Tower equivalent again. The citizen next to the tree allows us to gain a sense of perspective as well. Now for the more exciting part. We see the protagonist moving quickly with rollerblades, complete with a great animation as well. Here's hoping we don't have to wait for too long to get them. Firstly, we can see a detailed mansion and a bridge accompanying it, and it's worth mentioning that movement looks based on fixed axes again, so no 3D movement unless Game Freak have sneakily chosen to hide it in its reveal. Now, I want to draw your attention to the statue in the lake. Upon inspection, it's a knight with a Golurk and a Palpitoad. With N having had a Tympole in black and white, with Golurk's pre-evolution appearing in Dragon Spiral Tower, a location central to the plot of these games, could this be a hint at a link to Team Plasma, or Gen 5 generally? This is alongside the fact that they are both Gen 5 Pokémon, possibly suggesting that we might only be initially seeing Gen 5 and 6 Pokémon in the wild until post-game. And here we see a desert terrain, showcasing a variety of environments, as ever.
Encounter new Pokémon.
This is the first of our starters, Chespin, the grass option, with a name derived from chestnut, pine, and chipmunk. No indication of a dual typing yet, but that tail looks lizard-like. Usually, though, small rodent-like animals are given a normal type, so that's something to consider. Chespin also gives us our first look at another new aspect for the handheld series, 3D battles. We get to see full 3D models complete with attacking and idle animations, and a cinematic camera to help emphasise the action to greater effect than ever before. We're shown a Magikarp, now suggesting a possible mix of Mon from all gens, and interestingly, we again see a Golurk. This might also emphasise an importance on new ghost types. Fennekin, the foxy fire starter, seems to have its name derived from the words fennel, fox and kindle. Or more simply, a variation from the fox family, the fennec fox. Again, no clear indication of dual typing, but it would be nice if the final evolution managed to break away from the firefighting trend we've seen in the last 3 generations. Some fans also seem to be suggesting a fire psychic typing, similar to Victini. Lastly, we have Froakie, continuing the trend of initially weird-looking water starters. His name seems to be derived from frog and croak, and again there's no indication of dual typing, but water grass in a vein similar to the Ludicolo line would make the most sense for a frog-based Pokémon. At this point, we see another character tailing the male lead. We've had characters that follow the player before in both scripted and user-controlled sequences, but it's good that Game Freak realised it'd be best to give them some distance in a 3D engine, rather than sticking right behind as with the sprite-based games. We can see a nice looking effect with the light filtering down through the forest canopy, and we also get our first glimpse at a Wild Encounter intro, showing a rather cheery looking Pikachu presented full frame for the player.
The more you battle
Here's a Psychic Gym. Blink and you'll miss it.
together, the stronger your bond will become.
And here's a Bug Gym. And finally, here's what appears to be a cathedral-esque ghost gym, the last piece of in-game footage we see, sporting two impressive pillars of fire. This is highly likely to be Y's legendary beast, unless they pull the old switcheroo again. It could be a variety of types from any of Dark, Dragon, Flying, and a suggested Electric type. Leaving this to be the legendary beast of X, and it looks like someone's been watching the right amount of Princess Mononoke. That's all for today. Thanks for
Pokemon
watching.
Adventure is about to begin.